Today we are going to discuss the presidency of Thomas Jefferson. So let's get started. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Virtual History 360. I'm Mr. Wade and we are talking about Thomas Jefferson. But be sure to stick around until the end of the video to hear about Sally Hemings and her children. You do not want to miss that. But before we talk about her, let's visit TJ at his home in Monticello. Here I am, a young Thomas Jefferson, and we are in a world built by Samuel Fey. When you are done here, you should head over to his channel to see his walkthroughs and to hear his inspiration for building these maps. Now, while we're here, we're going to check out the home that was designed by Thomas Jefferson. Originally, it was a 2-story, 8-room house, but in 1796, Jefferson began to renovate the home in the style of the buildings he saw while serving as minister to France, and he transformed it into the 3-story, 21-room building that we have today. Here we are. Take a look at this. Now, while we're looking around the house, let me tell you a little bit about Jefferson's presidency. We should start with the election of 1800 when electors messed up the plan and accidentally gave him and his running mate, talking about Aaron Burr, both received 73 electoral votes. This caused the election to be decided by the House of Representatives. Well, after Alexander Hamilton endorsed Jefferson, the 36th ballot was decisive and the rift between Burr and Hamilton was cemented. But that's going to be a story for another day. Back to Jefferson. You see, his presidency did not even get the chance for a smooth start because of the Judiciary Act of 1801 and the midnight judges appointed by Adams on his way out of office. Now, of course, we have to mention Stephen Marbury and his papers that were not delivered by John Marshall. Now, Marbury tried to get the Supreme Court to force Jefferson to give him his job, but here's the thing. The Supreme Court was put on hold by Jefferson for a year. And by the time it started up again, the same John Marshall who didn't deliver the signed commission was now the Chief Justice and made the final decision in the case. John Marshall declared that the Supreme Court did not have original jurisdiction in the case and that Marbury, he shouldn't have went straight to them. He should have filed his appeal in the state courts. This also declared that the Judiciary Act of 1789 was unconstitutional because it expanded the court's reach beyond what the Constitution intended. This is big. This is the concept of judicial review, and the court has been examining if laws follow the Constitution ever since. Now, that's what's going on in the US, but what about abroad, in other countries? Well, the Barbary states were still forcing countries to pay a tribute to ensure safe travel through the Mediterranean. Thomas Jefferson was pretty straightforward in telling them that the United States would not pay any bribes. So, the president sent the Navy to patrol the area. And one day, while giving chase to Tripoli pirates, the USS Philadelphia ran ashore in Tripoli. Well, in order to keep the pirates from gaining such a prize, the Philadelphia, members of the crew, led by Lieutenant Stephen Decatur, launched a mission to either recapture the ship or burn it. When they realized that the ship was no longer seaworthy, it was set ablaze. Well, after this daring mission, negotiations were started, and although the U.S. had to pay $60,000 to free prisoners of the Barbary War, the Barbary states agreed to not collect tributes from us anymore. So, in the end, I guess that was a win. I think this is a fitting end to other countries asking the US to pay tribute, from the French in the XYZ affair to the Barbary states. Now the world knew the United States was strong enough not to be pushed around. Okay, so now there's going to be a lot more to Thomas Jefferson than I have time to discuss here. Other things include the Louisiana Purchase and Lewis and Clark expeditions to the embargo of 1807. But we'll get to that later, okay? I do want to end this tour of Monticello by mentioning that Jefferson was a slave owner. Now, it does seem rather hypocritical that the man who wrote the phrase, "all men are created equal," owned other human beings, but it's the truth. Now, as you look around, you can see the slave quarters here as I walk around. And as we bring this tour to an end, It provides the perfect segue to bring up Sally Hemings, a slave, and we'll talk about her relationship with Jefferson. What do you say we head back to the classroom? Now, while it is still disputed today, there is little doubt that Sally Hemings bore the children of Thomas Jefferson. But their relationship goes back a lot further. Did you know that Sally's father was Jefferson's father-in-law? Yep, John Wales was the father of Sally, as well as Martha, who would marry Thomas Jefferson. Sally entered the Jefferson household as a baby and was raised alongside his daughter, Polly. Well, they went to France with Sally serving as a maidservant, and while in France, slavery was abolished and Sally earned the right to ask for her freedom. However, at the time, she was impregnated with one of Jefferson's babies and negotiated to come back to U.S. as long as she received and her babies received special privileges. Well, over the years, she had 6 children with Jefferson, although only 4 survived to adulthood. DNA tests in 1998 confirmed that the descendants of these children carry a Y chromosome from the Jefferson line. And although there were 25 Jeffersons in Virginia around this time, very few actually visited Monticello. Another piece of evidence that helps support this is that Thomas Jefferson freed all of Sally Hemings' children, but did not free any other children from any other nuclear families. This goes to show that these children were viewed differently by Jefferson, don't you think? These children lived their lives believing that they were descendants of Thomas Jefferson. Now, even though there is not concrete evidence to prove this, I believe that there is enough evidence to show that Thomas Jefferson fathered the children of Sally Hemings. And this all started when she was 16 years old. What do you think about that? What do you think about the complicated history of Thomas Jefferson? What about his relationship or involvement with Sally Hemings? What do you think of his story? Tell you what, let me know in the comments below. You tell me. And while you're there, go ahead and hit that like button for me. You know I love the engagement. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Turn that red button gray. And be sure to check out my other videos like the ones you see to the side over here. I have other history videos, U.S. history, world history. I have civics videos, kind of tying in with the presidency and government, right? I even have videos shot in 360 that you can look all the way around. Check them out, because I know you're going to like them. All right, for Virtual History 360, I'm Mr. Wade. I'll see you next time.